Hey everyone, Matt here. It is Wednesday. That is the main event time where we go over our main topics for the week. So if you're watching or listening, this is the meat and potatoes of the episode. If we happen to have any news to discuss as well, that's where we'll talk about it here. For the full episode, check us out on Saturdays. Thanks for watching and listening. Hope you enjoy. Welcome to another episode of Stack Your Points. As always, I'm Matt from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel, joined by our lovely cast, including RJ from Do You Take Cards. RJ, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well today. I am very happy to be with you, wonderful gentlemen, on this Monday night.
Thank you, RJ. And Tariq from Reek's Rewards, how are you doing today?
I am good. A little tired because I spent my entire day driving from Oklahoma City back home because I visited my dad over the weekend. But I didn't have to work today, so that's a plus for me.
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, we have Lani from the Call Me Lani YouTube channel. Lani, how are you doing today?
I mean, can I be tired too? If everybody's tired, can we just make it a thing tonight? And I also realized that I haven't recuperated from holiday travel yet, so I'm literally and legitimately tired.
That is some case of jet lag. And let me just say, I was tired yesterday. I've been tired for months. I'm gonna be tired for at least the next 4 years. So yeah, I have been fighting impulses today, guys. I'm just gonna put that out there. We'll move over to our news and roundup. And starting news and roundup of the week, the only news that I found that was somewhat significant was Citi had updated over the weekend, updated the look of the Costco card and added an extra percent on Costco gas. My reaction to this is, I don't particularly think the new look of the card is all that great. That's just me. They launched this on a Sunday because they're Citi and that's what they do. There's unverified reports that Citi also may have updated, and this would be actual news, it may have updated the transfer percentage to Flying Blue from 1 to 1 to 1.1 to 1.25. But we don't have anything official on that because, again, this came out on a Sunday, and we don't know if this is official. We don't know if this is a limited time thing. We're just going to have to find out when Citi decides to wake up again next weekend. But do you guys have any updates, any thoughts on the updated look of the Costco card and the extra percentage on Costco gas? Tariq, you hold this card. Your thoughts here?
Well, first of all, I just want to say it is definitely on par for Citi to do a change on a Sunday of a holiday weekend. We've seen obviously with the Strata premiere on Mother's Day weekend. This weekend is MLK and the inauguration. We'll see what happens next month. Maybe they'll do something on President's Day weekend plus Valentine's Day. In regards to the Costco card, cool. If I just make sure I guess I'll have to keep the card in my car because God forbid I decide to put any Citi card on my mobile wallet, the Citi police will come after me. But 5% on Costco gas stations is cool if you don't mind waiting 5 years to fill up at Costco gas. Other than that, I mean the card design, it's black instead of the gray, so yay. I'm not gonna get the MasterCard black card, and I don't think I'll ever get a Centurion card. So until I decide to get the Bill card, I guess I can just call and say my Costco card was damaged, and I'll have a black credit card. So cool.
Cool. All right. We'll move over to our topics of the week. And RJ, let's have you start our topics this week.
So, one of the things, and this is not directed at a specific creator, this is just sort of, I've been less active in the Discord because of some family stuff, so I've been mostly watching conversations happen. I've been watching some videos. Overall, I've been on Reddit and stuff, so I've been consuming a lot of content without necessarily participating in a lot of content, which is never my preferred method of interneting. But one thing that I really have noticed lately, and it might just be a post-holiday thing, is a lot of people are talking about aspirational travel, about, you know, they're comparing redemptions and like, oh, you only got 1.2 cents per point, like you should have waited and done this. And it really got me thinking about the community and like where do you draw the line between just being better at traveling and sort of aspirational travel taking over? Because we see like and the Maldives is sort of the textbook example of this, right? Like that is the running joke of going to the Maldives. But like some people join the credit card community and think that's what they're supposed to do. And then they change like what grocery stores they're going to and their spending habits in a way that doesn't necessarily help them. And it feels like we almost get too precious about it because we want to have this aspirational side of it. And then they're not like they're taking less trips, they're enjoying their travel less overall because they're trying to get these aspirational travel moments. Um, I agree with Lani on just take the trip, like the cents per point don't matter and all of that. But I understand like if you're somebody who has been like staying at the Motel 8 and then you see, hey, I make $20,000 on YouTube and I stay at the Conrad, this is how you can do it too, that those would be super interesting to you. But it feels like as a community, we need to be better about maybe toning down the aspirational side and talking just sort of about travel in general and how to travel sort of more effectively. I don't know. I know I'm a bit scattered on this one, guys. I fully admit that, but I just sort of where is the line for you between sort of just getting better at traveling and like not being too precious about things? Sort of just again, this one's really philosophical. I'm sorry. But Tariq, you're nodding along, so you seem to understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to go to you first.
Yeah. So I guess we'll tackle the kind of the whole aspirational creator YouTube thing. Or let's be honest, it's kind of like people who do like post pictures on Instagram. You know, you post the highlights, and especially for in the credit card community for YouTube, they're going to say the things that are going to get the most clicks. And let's be honest, what's going to get more clicks on a video? Hey, I traveled to go visit family for Thanksgiving on points. You can do this. Or I just did this $20,000 vacation for 80,000 points or whatever. And it's this greatest vacation you'll ever have. You're going to do the one that's going to get more clicks and more attention, and it's going to be more views and more money effectively. So we're just going to go on that. For us in the community, I am definitely leaning more on the side of just take the trip, travel more effectively, because I've said it multiple times before. I got into the travel game because I was redeeming my cash back for travel. And I was like, oh, there's probably a better way to do this. Lo and behold, I got Hyatt and IHG points and learning on at the wazoo, and now I got United miles I'm earning too. That did not mean that right. And thanks to Lani, I got point stack hacks. As a matter of fact, I just bought some printer ink because my printer was low, and Office Depot actually did better than Amazon with faster. I got free shipping, and I didn't even completely think about Mileage Plus X, but I had the United Shopping Portal browser extension, and it was like, earn a mile. And I was like, let me check Mileage Plus X. And boom, I got 5x IHG points because I used Office Depot, 5x in like effectively 6x United miles. So on something that I was going to buy. And I think that's what the big thing, number one, is don't change your travel or your spending habits to try to hit whatever travel that you think you want to do, especially if it's not travel that you want to do. Like if you see the Maldives, Bora Bora, transatlantic lay flat first class seats that we all talk about, we all see the ones that get clicks. If that's not what you want to do, one, don't do that. And also don't change your spending habits because you're going to go shop at or go fill up at this X gas station versus you usually go fill up at Costco and go get the Costco card, 5x or 5%. Don't adjust your habits that way. But also, where do you want to travel? What is your plan for traveling? Me, I don't see myself doing crazy international travel in the near future. One of my big things for me is I want to be able to knock out all 50 states with my girlfriend and me. Right now, we just hit 3. We just got back from Oklahoma City. So, yeah, great. I get to travel that. And, the points that I use for that helps get to that goal. Now, don't get me wrong. I would like to go to Japan or go, to the Caribbean or seeing things like that. But I'm not going to break my neck with the travel strategy just to try to get to there sooner or to do these aspirational Instagram worthy trips that you're just doing it for attention. Do the travel that you want to do and it's going to make you happy and not necessarily be the big fish story that you get. Stop trying to flex on people. Find what you love, find what makes you happy. And like you said, if travel isn't even a thing that you want to do, don't travel. Don't get all the travel cards. You don't need to spend 4 or 5 figures. Well, not 5 figures, but you don't need a comma in your annual fee totals if you don't want to travel. Just go get the cash back and, maybe do the 5% all the things on cash back if you want to do that strategy and not pay an annual fee, or get the Blue Cash Preferred if you are okay paying the annual fee on that. But it may not always need to be travel. It may not even be, you can be good with cash back, or you don't even have to be in the credit card game at all. It's voluntary because, some people may not even be good with credit cards. So I think the strive for the perfect redemption is, for a lack of a better term, superficial, because who's to say what we know is perfect? Because what may be the ideal travel situation for me is not going to be the same for Lani, not going to be the same for you, RJ, or the same for Matt. Everyone has their own definition of travel. Do what you love, and truly, let's just stop caring about what other people think.
Except for us. All listeners should care what we think. That is the carve out there.
Oh yeah, well, we need Joe to have opinions, because if y'all didn't care what we think, we wouldn't be doing this.
Lani, I'm gonna go to you as sort of captain of Team Take the Trip. I feel like people should take the trip they want and not take the aspirational trip that they feel like they should want once they get into this game. Is maybe that a better way for me to describe my feelings?
Well, the first thing is you got to define aspirational trip, because that you can have 6 people and you're going to get 7 different answers. The other aspect of it is there's no such thing as a perfect redemption. And that's literally, the foundation of just take the trip, do what you need to do for yourself and whatever you want to do, whatever that could be is aspirational. Like I actually have a friend that for some reason, and I still talk to her about this to this day, and this has happened over 15 years ago. She was like, I don't know why I've always just wanted to go see Mount Rushmore. That's her aspirational trip. And she actually ended up doing it. And like I said, I'm like, yo, what was it still worth it? Like, what did you do? Did you just stand there, take a picture, walk away, got back in the car? And what? But that's what she wanted to do. Ever since she was a kid, she wanted to go see Mount Rushmore. She's like, you know what? F it. I'm just going to go do it. And she hopped in her beater of a car and went and drove halfway across the country to go do it. And that was one of the most satisfying moments of her life. Like I said, I still talk to her still to this day. And every so often I will still bring it up. You've been around the world 18 whatever X times now. And it's what's your favorite trip? It's she'll always bring up Mount Rushmore for some reason. And so there's no such thing as a perfect redemption. There's no such thing as a perfect trip. And it depends on the person that has to do it. The other aspect of it is is it's okay to be different. As Tariq had mentioned, we all don't have to be the same. You don't have to pay attention to whatever anyone else. I have taken low redemptions, and you know what? I'm still happy. I I don't want to sound humble, but I might have more stamps in my passport. Actually, I have more than one passport because I got so many stamps one time that I actually had to get another passport because I ran out of pages. And so those types of things happen. But that makes me happy. And did I get 2 cents, 3 cents, 5 cents per point for every single trip? No, but I I got a lot of trips. I got what I wanted. And I say that's the most important because I absolutely have no ambition in my body to ever step foot in the Maldives. It's not a trip that I want to take. So if that's something you want to like burn your miles and points for, go for it. Who am I to tell you that you should or should not do that? Do I have enough points and miles to get me there and home again? Yeah, but will I use them on that? Absolutely not. That's not going to happen. Not in my world. I don't care how many free night certificates you get and what type of like bungalow over the water and the white sand. I don't care. I honestly don't. And sand stains shoes, and I will not destroy my shoe collection for a trip to the Maldives. And so, touching on another point that you brought up, RJ, it's like when you think of those types of trips and those types of videos, it's like, oh, I just got this trip for X thousand points or miles or whatever. That offer, whatever they did, is not available to you. Like, even the four of us, we all live in four different areas because that's what works for us. And just thinking of that. So, yes, we could all go to the same destination, but we're not going to spend the same amount to get there because we're coming from four different places. So, if someone's like, yo, I got this trip or whatever for 100,000 points, well, for you, it might not be 100,000 points. It could be less, actually. So, it's not even always going to be more. It could be less depending on where you're going. Like, if someone said they wanted to go to Los Angeles, it's going to cost me less than them to get there unless they're already in Los Angeles. So those types of things can happen. And the last part of your question, RJ, that I want to touch on is that you, for those that are getting started, even if you're novice, you're early, you're still green in this. And green could still be your first 5 years, by the way. It's not like you just started last year and now you're a professional. Green could still be your first 5 years, 6, 10 years or so that you're still learning. You have to make mistakes to learn in this game. No matter how much information you absorb, listening to people like us, following us on subscribing to our channels, watching our videos, listening to this podcast are all great educational resources and tools to make sure you don't make mistakes. But even with all that, you're still going to make a mistake. It's still going to happen. The airline or hotel is going to change something tomorrow. Hilton's going to do something different. Marriott's going to change something. Delta's going to, switch up their rules. They can do it at any time. We've already talked about that. And you're not going to be prepared for it. And it's going to be a mistake. And you're going to be upset about it. But you're going to learn from it. And then you'll be better. It's the only way to sharpen your sword in this game is to make mistakes. You're not going to come out perfect. Your first trip will not be international first class. I guarantee it won't. That's like literally like a 1% thing. And if it is, you're probably paying cash for it. And so with that, you have to just do what's best for you in the manner that you feel is best, and then just roll with that and drown out all the noise. Because even for someone like myself, like I said, I've been traveling for over, in this travel game for over 20 years now, literally over 20 years. And I'm still learning things. I'm still figuring things out. As I mentioned, things continue to change. I just did a video, like not even a full at the beginning of the month or not even until last month about what United is changing in 2025. I've been flying with United almost 30 years and they're making changes in 2025. Things that I need to pay attention to, and chances are I could make a mistake. But also making those mistakes also got me ahead of the blade, ahead of the game, ahead of the 8 ball on United's about to make some changes. I'm not about to let them screw what I already got planned for 2025. You're going to have to make those mistakes. But all in all, if you are keeping up with the Joneses, that is the absolute biggest mistake you're going to make. If you're just listening to what everyone else says, I have to do it like this. I got to use MPX because Lani told me to. I have to fly United, and I have to pick my partners because that's what Lani said. It's probably 100% not going to work for you. It could 60% work for you. It could 85% work for you. But everything that I say, very plain, flat, plain and simple. And you can be like, then why am I doing this? Or why should I listen to you? Because even that small percentage, 60% of something is more than 100% of nothing. I'm only trying to educate you on your options the same way RJ is going to educate you on your options in RJ's way. And Matt's going to do it in Matt's way. And Tariq's going to do it in Tariq's way. You take all that knowledge and you figure out what's best for you. But I 100% don't think you're going to 100% adopt my strategy in my way. Even though Tariq has, very graciously admitted that I have taught him so much stuff. Tariq has his own strategy that's not 100% my strategy. I don't have a Hyatt card. Tariq does have a Hyatt card. So we've already taken away from 100%. And it's okay. But guess what? He just mentioned he has 3 states out of his goal. His goal is not the Maldives. It's 50 states. And he has 47 more to go. So go Tariq. And that's okay. And I yield my time and I hand back the mic.
Matt, your thoughts?
So first and foremost, in addition to pick your points, pick your preciouses. And by that, I mean, what is your priority for making your bookings? Is your priority to spend as little as possible? I know that here on the show, Lani tries to make all of his bookings as close to $0 out of pocket via points as possible, right? Friend of the show, Dugras from Dugras Reports, his philosophy is no money comes out of the family bank for travel. He has his own set aside travel bank where points and bank bonuses fund their travel. And he has his unique way of doing things. So, like, first and foremost, kind of prioritize how you want to approach things. If paying cash is anathema to what you want to do, make sure that you're able to, make your bookings in such a way that points can cover everything. And if points can't cover everything, but you have other unique strategies so that you're not paying more out of pocket, that is better for you than trying to make a trip to the Maldives work. Because fun fact, that trip to the Maldives, like that final flight to the islands of the Maldives, can't be covered by points currently. So no matter what you do, there's a $1,500 hole that you got to figure out. Now, if you can cover that with some sort of real-time rewards from the Altitude Reserve, cool. You found a way to make this work that I haven't, but I'm not sitting here prioritizing how I'm booking trips to the Maldives. I sit here to subsidize my travel as best I can. And if I have to use cash, I will use cash, but I will prioritize the ways in which I will use cash first over, trying to prioritize the highest cent per point. Like, I want to get the trip done. So prioritize what is most precious to you in your philosophy of the game. So if it's, I never want to spend $1 that I don't have to spend on travel, great. If it's, I need the highest cent per point possible, you are going to be planning, major blowout trips for a while, and you run into the possibility of point inflation or sudden devaluations or things that you can't plan for because the aspirational trip you want to take in 2025, you don't have the points to cover in 2025, but you might be able to build the points by 2027. There's no guarantee between 2025 and 2027 that trip won't double in price because the Maldives just suddenly sink into the ocean. So for me, it is, what is your priority in prioritize your philosophy and don't stick within it as much as you can. Obviously, for Lani, point travel is much easier because he has the decades that he's built and he's made the mistakes that he's made. Don't be afraid of mistakes. But like it's not going to be perfect. So if your plan is to always book points going forward, there may be that trip that you're going to have to pay cash just because you don't have the points there, or you have to spend cash to buy the points to cover the trip. Now, point purchases could be a point of contention. I don't know. I'm not here to say that one way or the other right now, but just because you're seeing trips of aspirational travel, that's great. On the YouTube side, on the credit card YouTube side, we know that folks will be able to back up that math with the points that they've done. Travel blogger side, you can't guarantee that they're using points. They could just be paying cash. They could be getting reimbursed by whatever airline they're doing a review for. Who knows? Neither here nor there. But, I don't think we need to rely on aspirational travel. I do think, whatever makes you happiest to make the trip, do that. You got a friend of the show, Chad's Money Minutes, who is currently traveling and did a live in Egypt. He mentioned the show, so thank you for that, Chad. He makes his bookings to never have to pay the same way as Lani does, to try and prioritize points. But he'll also say, he'll also admit, I had to do cash for this. And he's not going to sugarcoat things by saying like, oh, I did this aspirational trip all on points and nothing was paid for with cash. No, he'll tell you, this is where I had to make up shortcomings. If he has to pay cash, he'll tell you he paid cash. To me, just, I think the idea of the aspirational travel and the perfect redemption and the highest cents per point, if you luck into a really great redemption, you lucked into something that 99.98 whatever percent of people are never going to be able to do. Yeah, I'm building up points for future redemptions, but I'm also aware that those future redemptions could go up, and I have to factor that in. So I'll have to spot in cash where necessary or buy points where necessary. Not all my spend that I do now is going to be able to afford the bigger trips that I have in mind in the future. So prioritize your philosophy as well.
Thank you, guys. I somehow feel better and also more confused, but that's what a philosophical question's going to buy you.
Sorry, we all went hard on the philosophy on that one. Okay, it's what we do every week. Lani, your topic.
Oh, I wasn't asking to go next. I was saying I did go pretty heavy on the philosophy on that one. So I don't have a credit card question this week, but I do have a travel related question. Now, we are recording this on Inauguration Martin Luther King, January 20th. So I don't know when you're actually listening to it, but that's the day that we're doing it. And one of the things that I thought of today was exactly how happy I was with the work that Secretary Pete Buttigieg did as Secretary of Transportation in the last administration. He did some crazy, amazing things regarding not just for transportation and infrastructure in the U.S., but regarding U.S. travel, especially with putting accountability towards the airlines when it comes to disruptions and compensation of the delays and the things that annoy us on our travel days. Now, obviously, he won't be continuing in that position in this new administration, but assuming things were to continue to move forward, what more or what other ideas would you like to see Department of Transportation bring into the travel game, change or enhance upon? So it could be almost anything, but I'd really like to see or hear what my co-host would say. And I do have some answers for myself, but of course I'm not going to go first. So Matt, I'm going to kick it off to you first on this one.
Sure. First and foremost, if you fly out of the United States, fly into the United States, have a loyalty program in which United States citizens can become a member of, regardless of where you are headquartered in the world. An overnight no notice devaluation is a sudden big slap and fine to your profits. If you're overnight like doubling and tripling the point prices of a flight with no notice whatsoever to your customers, like that shouldn't fly. You know, you can make changes. You can say that for business purposes, X, Y, Z, whatever needs to happen. I'm not saying you can't run your business and you can't operate on your P&L, but 30 days notice. Like that is more than sufficient. You're still within the quarter. You can make the change. You can have that change reflect in your in this quarter for next quarter. Like it is still business sound that you can make a devaluation to your miles. You can make changes to your miles. You can operate your business, but not get away with that overnight. That should be fined heavily. The next 4 years, this is going to become the norm with no consequence whatsoever. So I'm really looking forward to that. But that is probably the biggest thing that I would like to see. We were seeing, pushback to, and, some late regulatory moves to kind of say, hey, you say your flights depart and arrive at time A and time B. You're an airline who your flights are whenever the heck you feel like, and landing, who knows? And due to curfews, may not land in the city that you're supposed to land in. And certain airlines have been hit with hefty fines for that. That should continue. That level of accountability should continue. I would like to see that. I'm not expecting any of that to happen. But those are just like the basics I would like to set. I'm setting a very low bar, and I don't expect it to be met. America for the next 4 years is going to be Cowboys fans. Sorry, AP.
This is not a political debate. Let's leave that out. Let's leave that part out. Don't. Hey, Matt just turned to the left on the plane. On that
sure
one.
Did.
Yep. Not a political debate. We're leaving all that out. Pause button. Tariq, what do you got?
I got 3 letters for you. TSA. I feel like there needs to be a way for the Transportation Security Administration to have a more efficient process in screening people and getting them from to airside. Obviously, we have TSA PreCheck for those that are going to be willing to spend $85 every 5 years or have whatever credit card of choice that gives you a TSA PreCheck or clear or global entry credit. We are happy with that. I think for even just the bare bones basic, I'm not going to find the credit card or pay the $5.85 every 5 years, which it's not that much in the grand scheme of things. But for those people that don't want to pay for it, I've seen just the utmost ridiculous lines for TSA because everyone's having to still take their shoes off. Some airports, you don't have to take your shoes off. You don't have to leave like your laptop. You can leave your laptop in the bag. But I feel like there just needs to be more efficient screening to get people to where they need to be because the lines just take too long. And, if the x-rays and everything that we have, the technology that we have, do we still really need to be taking our shoes off? Some people just don't have the best hygiene and I don't need to be smelling stinky feet at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Come on, y'all. The government has, I don't even want to know I can't even think off the top of my head how much money, probably in the trillions, that the government spends. We could find a way to have better screening in all of our airports for the sake of everybody's travel day, not just the people who utilize points and miles and credit cards properly.
Actually, I'm going to touch on that in a minute. But RJ,
So, real-time follow-up, the US's total budget is 7.4 trillion and the TSA budget is 11.8 billion with a B. So, they've got a budget to not take your shoes off. Also, fun fact, TSA has never stopped an attempt to bring in an actual hijacking. That was fun. I remember when you could actually not hit security on the way to the thing and you could run through, as many old movies, young people, you could run through to the gate of your beloved to stop them from getting off of the airplane or to get on the airplane. That used to be a thing. You cannot do that anymore. I kind of want a movie to have TSA tackle somebody trying to do that just because it would be funny for those of a certain age. Anyway, I, like Matt, I was gonna say once a quarter companies can devaluate their points. Just like a bloody first day of every quarter, you just get the mass devaluations for that quarter. So Matt and I are on the same wavelength there. I do think that TSA needs some reforms. The problem is, in theory, were you to believe that TSA works, the randomness of certain things, you can leave your you can leave your laptop in, you have to take it out, you can do this, you can do that. That is all what they would say is put in the system so the people who are wanting to do the bad things don't know what's going to happen, and that confusion is part of the security. Unfortunately, it's all security theater and crap, but it's in there for a reason. The reason is bad, the system is bad, but there is a reason. I also would like to say that, and this is never going to happen, but a girl can dream. If I book an airline ticket and I pay for that airline ticket, I should always get my money back up until like 3 days before that flight. I should not have the refundable and non-refundable options. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, there should just be a refundable option. Like, if I pay, and I'll give them 72, I'll give them 96. 96 hours before the flight, I can cancel it and get all of my money back without having to beg, borrow, steal, whatever, to whatever agent I'm talking about to get my money back. I should just be able to get my money back because I bought a service. I'm canceling that service and not being able to use that service. Give me my money back. I don't think it will ever happen because companies get to charge you more to use that, but here we are. That's what I got.
I'm actually really enjoying these answers, especially the old movie Run Through the Airport, because Home Alone, the first one, which I actually think is older than Tariq.
By a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty safe by saying that one. I think it actually is, but it also takes place in Chicago.
I was curious. Home Alone is 9 years older than me.
You were born in 1999?
I told you this multiple times. Yes.
Oh,
I was born in 99. I am a 90s baby by technicality and cartoon reruns.
Elizabeth, I'm coming for you.
It's a reference older than you and me. Come on.
That's
I know, but I was going old school for that
one. But if you ever watch Home Alone, they missed that flight. Even in the 90s security standards, they missed that flight. And that's the one thing I always hated about that movie, even though it does take place in Chicago. They run through Chicago O'Hare Airport. So I can tell you exactly the hallway that they ran through in that airport and all the spots they shot that movie in. But that, you instantly reminded me of that, RJ. So thank you. But I don't disagree with any of you, but a couple of the things that I would say are on-plane delays. Flight delays are one thing, but if I have to sit on a plane and be delayed, that's a separate issue that needs to be taken care of in any way, shape, or form. Compensation, like I said, if I'm flying United, like at 2 hours, I instantly get some type of travel bank. It might not even be cash in pocket, like RJ said. I was outside of the 96 hours outside of that time, but travel bank, which would eventually expire. But hey, we got to pay you because somebody's getting paid while they're sitting there at the gate. Why am I not getting paid? Like, why am I not? And I guarantee you, if call it a 90-minute delay, I guarantee you, the second they close those doors, people will start a stopwatch. Like, yo, oh, we about to make it. We all about to get $200. Like, I guarantee you. The other thing, maintenance. Like, never have a conversation with a flight attendant. Never. Like, especially around maintenance. You've never been on a plane that was 100% functional. I'm just going to be, if you flew domestically in the US, I don't care which airline it is, you've never been on a plane that was 100% functional. And sometimes it's just like, we out, let's go. And it's like, you don't find out until later, like the engine was running at 40% and you're flying at 32,000 feet. Like,
or one of the engines didn't work that flight.
Also, never drink hot water on an airplane.
Yeah.
Once again, never talk to a flight attendant, y'all. They will ruin. Just don't do it. You don't want to know. Just trust me. You don't want to know.
Got it. No coffee on. no. I'll have my coffee on the ground. Thank you.
Buy it in the terminal and take it on. Take a little thermos with you. Take a little Corsical cup or Yeti or whatever it is that you carry, and pour it in that sucker. But do not drink hot water on an airplane. I'm just telling you, don't want to know. Going back to Tariq, as I said, I was going to touch on this. It's not just like the TSA, but the boarding. Boarding processes need to be better, period. If you've ever been to Asia and flown an Asian airline, so not like I flew to Asia on United and I'm flying home. No, because that's still operated by partner of United in some way, shape, or form. They're United trained employees, even in Asia. But I have flown on like China Airlines or Air China. Man, these planes are just as big, if not bigger, and they can fill them up in 15 minutes or less. There's no reason why we can't do that here in the US other than we're Americans. We're just going to call it what it is. We're Americans. Eat it. Just eat it. Just swallow it if you can, but you got to eat it. We're Americans and we're stubborn. And so we just do things our way. Like the most important people have to get on first. So you fly in first class. You're just sitting there for 90 minutes waiting for the people in group 5 to finally get on. Go to France. First class boards last for a reason. Call it what it is. We got to figure it out. But the other aspect of it is all these new airports and renovations that are happening here in the US, we need to incorporate boarding lanes into the architecture and the design of what we're building. We shouldn't have people hanging out, lines outside the hallway, all this. Go to Denver Airport in the new renovated section. I just saw it over the holiday. It was great the way they actually built the boarding lanes into the airport. It was so much freedom to actually walk in the hallways, and it wasn't like weird and a bum rush of people all crowded by a number 1 or a number 2 trying to get on. And last but not least, we got to fix the carry-on space problem. You can say one carry-on and one personal item all day if you want. I don't really care about that. But for example, for that one family that decides they're going to bring way too much stuff and they still let them on the plane because they don't want to deal with them, and then somebody's using the space where I'm supposed to be sitting for my ticket that I paid for, even if I paid with points, I still paid for it. It's a currency that has a financial value, so I paid for it. No, if you bring too much stuff and take up too much space, you should pay for that in some way, shape, or form. But other people should be protected against it. And I understand there's the restrictive airline fee of like, hey, I bought the restrictive seat, so I'm not allowed to bring anything on the plane. I get that. But for the people that are bringing stuff on the plane, you know who I'm talking about, the people that have 2 blankets, a pillow, a carry-on, a backpack. They gave the baby a backpack and the baby can't even, all those folks, we got to do something about it. Like, it's either in your seat in front of you. And by the way, if you're sitting bulkhead, you don't have a seat in front of you. You don't get to put it under your seat. That's where my feet are. Went off on a small tangent there. But anyway.
Lani, is this why you're still tired from your travel?
Probably. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, that's my answer to my own question. Anyone else have something that they would like to see Secretary of Transportation change, especially around airlines or any other aspect of travel? Leave it in the comments. I'd love to read them. But like I said, if you ever don't fly to London, but if you fly to France or Spain or Korea or Japan, you'll be like, Singapore, you'll be like, yo, as Americans, we could be doing better. We should.
It's almost like American exceptionalism is a lie.
Or the truth.
We're exceptionally stupid.
Which would be the truth.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Tariq, your topic for this week.
All right, time to throw in a little bit of chaos and make some people upset. All right, so you know how Lani and subsequently RJ always talks about pick your partners and how every one of us has a plan A strategy and sometimes now a plan B, except for Matt because he's a madman. So that plan A strategy we all have, poof, gone. You have a plan B. Your plan B is now your plan A. Using your current setup and where you are right now on this day of recording and subsequently this day of airing, how are you going to utilize your plan B, your new plan A strategy to the best of your ability? And Lani, that means mileage plus X, as much as we hate to say it, is gone. So with that being said, Lani, the floor is yours.
You think this is a hard question, but it's actually an easy one for me. I would instantly shift to an Amex ecosystem because, and it's not because of transfer partners or anything else, but like we are discussed at the beginning, travel portal. I can just go super duper ham on my MR points and still be able to book whatever, even if you're going to not take away my plan A as United, but take United out as a option. Like, I still could fly another airline and get to A and B. Like, they, from point A to point B, that is. Like, I don't necessarily need to fly United. United is a choice. It's not forced into my lifestyle. The other aspect of it is they still have transfer partners, but I don't really like that many of their transfer partners, which is why Amex is in my plan B. But the MR points and the travel portal negate all of that, and transfer partners are irrelevant in the travel portal. I don't need to. I can just book with Hilton, book with Delta, book with Marriott directly from the travel portal instead. The other aspect that I would do is probably go a little bit heavier on hotel. And I'm only saying that because, like, as I mentioned, I am going to go heavy Hilton in 2025. I have 3-4 Hilton stays already for 2025, which is the most that I've ever stayed in a Hilton property in a single year, like literally like ever. But I did some research. I went and got the Aspire card to make sure I can maximize out on that. I'm looking at the Surpass card to make sure I can use double dip on those and maximize on it as well. Even though it's $700 for both of those cards. Golly, that's RJ annual fee numbers right there. But anyway, that $700 ain't going to be nothing with the amount that I would get back. And then the last thing is going back to my first statement of I go super deep on Amex. Well, the Hilton cards are under the Amex umbrella, and so is the Marriott card. So if I were to go in the hotel thing, I could go that direction. I know not all Marriott cards are, but I think two or three of them are. I know the Brilliant definitely is. And so, yeah, I would just, you know, move away from Chase, which is literally like half of the cards that I have earn UR points. We all know, like your trifectas and your inks and all that other stuff. Move away from Chase because that's heavily in my plan A. So I got to remove all that. But Amex is not heavily in my plan A. So I'll go, I would just shift to Amex and just like do the full Amex ecosystem in whatever form or shape that would end up making.
Cool, cool. RJ, no more Delta, no more Hilton. I don't know who your Plan B airline is, but I think Plan B for you, I think was Choice.
Yeah, so plan
So,
B for hotels is Choice, plan B for airlines is United.
well,
Um,
get ready to learn Mileage Plus X.
but I wouldn't because I would just pay for it in cash like I do Delta. Like 90% of my plane rides are cash. I use miles very sporadically for Delta. Like I use them if I have a specific thing and the redemption works. I don't actually use miles for flights very much. I would much rather pay cash. Um, because usually what I'm flying is on somewhere on the East Coast. So we're talking 1400-ish for first class, roughly wherever I'm going. I much rather pay for cash than use miles for something like that. So it doesn't actually change my strategy for airlines. It just changes which airline I'm giving money to. So there's that. For hotels, choice, but I have a choice card, so that makes it easy. Just put my hotel stays on that card. I get 10 times points for cash days. The redemptions on choice are pretty good in general in the US, so I'm good there. Um, honestly, my um, good Lord, I can't think. My Venture X would probably get more spend because right now it's going on the Blue Business Plus, but the Venture X would probably take that spend so I could use the miles eraser or whatever they're calling it these days of just paying for things with miles through that. Honestly, just other than getting rid of a bunch of Amex cards when they come up, not a whole lot would change. I may, once I'm under 524, get the United Club card just to have those perks and get into lounges the way that I do with my reserve for Delta. But at that point, like I'm I have the card for the benefits, not because I put my travel typically on it, right? Like as much as I call the platinum a subscription, the reserve really is my bigger subscription, in terms of why I have it. So and I get the companion pass, which is partly why I have it, or mostly why I have it, should be honest. So yeah, so it would change things, but because my flights are so heavily cash based, it doesn't change as much of it. Honestly, for a backup strategy, if Southwest gets their act together and like lets you pick your seat and has like kind of a sort of a business first class-ish vibe, I might go with Southwest just because, again, I'm flying mostly East Coast. So I'm flying to places where United and Southwest both have a decent coverage. So yeah, it's less exciting and less disruptive than it sounds, but I do cash a lot for flights, and that's the biggest change to this currently. So yeah.
Hey, I mean, it's a benefit. It would make it easier for you to slash some of your annual fees. So, I mean, that's a win for you there. Also, the best you're probably going to get with Southwest is like a Comfort Plus. No first class type there
Yeah,
because
no.
so,
But also when I search United, I get a lot of like, you can be first class for this, but you're going to be business class for this. And I don't like that either.
eh. it is what it is. Matt, you have a strategy now. How are you gonna do it?
Oh no, I have to give up my Chase cards? Oh, what will I ever do with my better earning Wells Fargo cards? Oh no, I don't have a Wells Fargo travel card yet because it hasn't been announced. Oh, what will I ever do? This is easy. I would just convert over to Wells Fargo. I wait for the Wells Fargo big boy card. Oh, and Wells Fargo is going to add more transfer partners. So my choice A transfer partner of like Hyatt just to get cheap hotel stays on points. If Hyatt becomes a Wells Fargo partner, ooh, look, I looked into it. Oh, I lose JetBlue as my primary airline. Oh no, what will I ever do? I have other options. I can pick a big boy airline, or Wells Fargo at least has access to the Star Alliance partners and go from there. Or, well, not Star Alliance, just all of the airline alliance partners and just go from there. I can switch over to Hilton and just earn a butt ton of Hilton points. And, the worst ways to use Hilton points, but still a way to use Hilton points would be to transfer it 10 to 1 to airline miles. So I can always like build up a huge cachet of Hilton points and go from there. Um, no, if my plan A, which is Chase and Chase affiliated partners first, and then kind of figure out everything else from there, were to go away, I've got a Wells Fargo ecosystem that I feel is somewhat stronger than Chase in terms of my earning capability. I still have an upcoming big time travel card that should be relatively good, and more transfer partners on the way. Like, yeah, I take a huge hit up front, but like on the back end, I probably still do pretty well for myself. So I'm not super concerned about it. I just want to liquidate my, 300,000 chase points before you put this into effect. So I have like 300,000, 3,000 more dollars in my pocket.
Fair. And for the sake of wrapping up my topic, yeah, I'm also just gonna go ahead and throw away IHG because I don't consider IHG a plan B. It's like a plan A.5 because of the like how often I use it. So
Really, it's plan A because Hyatt's footprint is so pathetic, but you don't want to admit that it's plan A.
it's part of my plan A. We'll just say that. Anyway, yeah, both Hyatt and IHG go away because I want to be a good sport. So I thought about it. I still don't want to get Bonvoy as much as I grew up with Marriott. So screw it. Why don't we I'm going to go dabble with Hilton. I figured, why not? Hilton's got a good enough footprint, and maybe it'll give me the kick in the pants enough for me to dabble with the American Express cards. Maybe the gold card will be valuable. And if not the gold card, at the bare minimum, the green. So I'll go with that. And when it comes to airlines, I'll still be fortunate enough to use Chase because I'll just go to Southwest because Southwest is actually the number one airline in my home airport. And I can just utilize that and I'll upgrade my Sapphire Preferred to a Sapphire Reserve so I can get some lounge access and then get the Southwest Rapid Rewards priority card and get the benefits on that. So I think that, I mean, my annual fees will jump up to like I'm Diet RJ, but aside from that, it'd be pretty cool. And it's pretty
Tariq,
simple
get
and
the green
straightforward.
card. Get the green card, Tariq. That's the only card in Amex's MR point earning personal side that would work for you. Get the green card.
But groceries. I spend money on groceries.
You do, but you can use that elsewhere. Just get the green card. You would use it more.
Fair enough.
Or the Surpass.
Yes.
I was going with straight MR cards, but
Oh,
yes, the
fair.
Surpass.
I think the
Fair.
Surpass would probably be like potentially a catch-all card for me, just so I can just put a bunch of spend on there and maybe get the Hilton free night certificate for that.
All right. So wrap with my topic, which is if an issuer went completely cardless, no physical card, what sort of physical token would you be willing to carry that still has your information in the event that your phone, which is your most likely digital wallet, and we'll say your watch as well, because that's your next most likely place to store your digital wallet, both have no power, or you're a cheapskate like me and you didn't buy the cellular version of your watch. So, RJ, no physical card, and your watch and phone don't have access to their digital wallets. What sort of token would you be willing to carry?
I'm gonna go full cruise ship. And cruise ships give you a little token that you can like, it's like a little thing. And some people clip it onto the side of their watch. So while I physically cannot use my watch with a screen, I just have this little thing hanging off, a little nubbin hanging off my watch strap where I can just turn my wrist, ding it. There's only like one card on there because, a catch-all. Maybe it's like a curve card and I can pick later. I don't know. But yeah, just like something, it would have to be something small. Like I think if it's, or Google Glass where you can just like take your glasses off and like ding it against I don't know, but like it's got to be something small. Like it can't be like the future where it's just like in your skin, right? Like nobody is, I shouldn't say nobody. Most people would not go full like chip in the skin. So I think it would have to be like a little clip onto a watch or like a pendant or something to realistically a key fob style thing. I think it would have to be something like that.
Yep, that's fair. Lani?
Belly button ring. Yep. It's gonna be at the grocery store.
I had to take my mind and unmute myself.
The belly button ring of payment. It shall be.
It's gonna be Mr. Lani, it's gonna be cash or card. Belly button. You're just gonna go and just give the card reader a hug.
Yep.
I had a few
You're all
regrets.
waist height now.
I had a few regrets today. I didn't expect that to join the list.
You're all welcome. I'm glad I can provide you joy.
That is a visual I'm not going to be able to get out.
But I actually wouldn't be opposed to the chip being microchipped, RJ, if it really came down to it, to be completely honest. But I think the most logical answer, at least in my world, is because, well, as most of y'all know, I'm a tech guy at heart. A smart ring, because they're on the rise anyway. And so then I can just tap my ring and make my payment that way. And the best part is, for those that work with the public, like one of my first jobs I ever had, when you get one of those angry customers that wants to like punch something, every time they punch the counter or whatnot, it charges them $100. It'll be great.
Just call it a customer service convenience fee. Oh man, I would have loved that in the days that I worked the customer service desk at Walmart.
There we go. Tariq.
Oh, now that I was inspired by Lani on that, I'm just gonna go just say something stupid. I want my grill. I'm gonna get grills so I can take the grill out my mouth and charge the payment reader and put it back in and get my 5X on whatever category that Chase has for the quarter of my Freedom Flags. But, all right. So aside from that, realistically, I do like kind of the jewelry approach. Like my first thought was like the ring, like the Quantic Bank pay ring. I always thought that was like a really cool concept. But aside from that, I think like a bracelet would be pretty cool. Just it's kind of, some people have a bracelet on top of their watch. So you can just, put your wrist over there, similar to like your smartwatch of choice, pay, and then it's good to go. I think that might be out of all of the answers, especially Lani's absurd belly button ring, which I think would be great for, swim shops, by the way, to pay that. But yeah, I think a bracelet would be good. Kind of a simple motion for people who already use mobile wallet on their smartwatch, and you can go from there. And then has some accessory and has some style.
RJ, did we just title this episode "The Belly Button Ring"?
I think we did. Yes, I think we did.
I'm back, baby.
Hey,
It was going to be for those who want to know. It was going to be pick your precious, but I think the belly button ring of payment is just too good to pass up.
dang, my no thank you points got really was knocked down.
That was the one right before pick your precious. So I every time I get a good title, guys, I put it in and it kicks it out. So typically as we go on, the title changes. But yeah, the belly button ring of payment, I think is too good to pass up for this one.
I don't know. My iced out mouth covers my ice. Just feels wrong.
Granted, I didn't think the no thank you points would make the title. I just thought it was a good kind of zinger with.
Oh, I liked it. It was gonna be the title, and then a better one came along. It is what it is. It's the natural order of things.
Yep, it is what it is. It's the natural order. Stack your points.
Yeah, so there's definitely been some options. Ring makes the most sense. Ring was not where I was going to go. I was actually thinking something along the lines of an AirTag or one of those like tracker type devices that you keep on your key, you keep on in your backpack, you do whatever. You kind of like have one that you can triple tap, and one of the triple taps is your finger to initiate to authorize the payment, and then you just tap it like a fob.
Like those gym membership cards. There was a credit card that actually made one of those like gym membership credit card things.
See, that was actually like my very first thought, like in pre-show. But I thought, do I really want to take my keys out of my pocket just to pay and have like the keys dangling on the card reader?
I hate my keys. I hate them. They're so keys in general, just car keys in general, are super thick. And mine is a key fob, and it's a thick one, and it fits in that fifth pocket, that little pocket on the right side of your jeans. So it fits in there perfectly. And so at least I don't have to like touch it or deal with it. But I would love to just not carry keys, period, at all.
Yeah, and I realize that my like hypothetical here is a niche upon a niche upon a niche upon a niche. Like you're only going to use this maybe once every quarter.
Yeah. And like my wife drives the Tesla, and like of course she has a card, but it just uses the Bluetooth on your phone, but it doesn't work all the time. So that's not 100% perfect. And yes, I know I just mentioned I'm a tech guy. It's like, why do you have physical keys? I do keep a physical lock on one door just in case, like power or battery, Wi-Fi doesn't work. I can still get in the house. So I have to carry at least a key as my plan B. It's my backup plan to get in the house, because you won't believe when you live in a fully electric house how often you can actually lose electricity or how often your internal grid doesn't like click, or your Wi-Fi goes out and you can't open your garage door. It sucks. So I carry a physical key, and I keep one door for that physical key, and I make sure that I can always get in the house, because I came home from a vacation one time to a complete power outage in my neighborhood that went on for a couple of days. So my batteries got drained by the time we got home, and we couldn't actually get into the house. But luckily, Daddy brought his key.
There's nothing quite like the power going out in the middle of the night and then waking up to every smart light in your house just being on and having to wait for everything to reset to be able to turn anything off so you can go back to sleep. That is a special kind of annoying little hell.
Oh yeah, all my Wi-Fi lights and light switches, everything's just on.
That sounds horrible.
It doesn't happen very often.
I know it's like a one-off, but still. That would like ruin my night. I probably wouldn't be able to go back to sleep depending on the time. So
you just don't set that up for like the bedroom, but the second you walk out the bedroom, it kind of sucks. But it's also usually morning, so there's already light outside the bedroom anyway, because there's windows and whatnot. But yeah, the townhouse section. So I'm in a townhouse with 3 other people, 3 other townhomes, and we all share our solar grid. And so one person can literally eat the entire thing up. It's not the most efficient thing, and I hate it. But yeah. Next place that we end up living won't have this. We're gonna be solo dolo, and the first thing I'm doing is calling Anchor, getting like solar panels, 3 of their home batteries, and then I'm going on vacation. Just let them bitches charge up, and I will never have to be on the grid again.
There you go. All right.
And if anyone's interested in Anchor, I actually do have an affiliate link. It's one of the actual companies I do support from an affiliate standpoint. Holla at me. Any Anchor product, come get me.
There we go. Any final thoughts on topics? Anything we didn't cover? All right, there we go. That'll do it for this episode of Stack Your Points. As always, if you like what we do, hit the like and subscribe, as we are close to 300 subscribers and on our push to 500 subscribers. Please subscribe on YouTube. If you do not watch us on YouTube and you listen to the Saturday show, please give us 5 stars on the podcatcher of your choice. That will also greatly help the reach of this show. If always just feel free to drop a comment on any of our videos, reach out via the email address, and check out the Discord as well. So, RJ, where can folks find you on the vast expanses of the internet as we wrap up here?
Right now, just check me out on the Stack Your Points Discord. I do have Do You Take Cards on YouTube. That is on a current hiatus for family reasons.
Absolutely. Tariq, best place to find you as well.
Yeah, that's going to be the Stack Your Points Discord and Reeks Rewards, once I can finally stop that perfection in my recording. I've done a few takes. I don't like them, and that perfectionist brain won't stop moving.
You're not going to like them for like 6 months to a year, so just post it.
Got it.
I second it. Just post it.
Me 3. And Lani, best places to find you.
You can find me right here on YouTube at Call Me Lani, all one word. Lani is spelled Lani, or you can also find me in the Stack Your Points Discord, also under Call Me Lani. So send me a message or at me, and I will respond.
Likewise, I'm also on the Stack Your Points Discord. You can find me on YouTube at Matt Clausen. I talk about general credit card stuff, credit card news, my credit card wish lists and things like that. It's not always based in reality, but it's my channel and you guys are coming to watch it, so why not? Closing in on 1,600 subscribers, hoping to get to 2,000 by the midpoint of the year, ideally. But as always, if you like what we do, hit the like and subscribe. Feel free to leave us a comment. Join the Stack Your Points Discord as well, and we will talk to you next week.